Speaking the truth isn't always easy. It can feel uncomfortable, even risky. But sometimes that's exactly what the world needs. And that's why I'm here today. Hello, everyone. I'm Troy. And today I'll step into the role of the TED speaker, Luvi Ajayi Jones, to share this message with you. This is a simpler version of a TED Talk so that anyone, especially English learners, can understand and enjoy. Today, we will discover why being uncomfortable can be the start of real change. Before we dive in, I'd love to invite you to be part of this conversation. If you enjoy talks that make you think and feel, please like this video, subscribe for more, and share your thoughts in the comments. Now, I'm a professional troublemaker, as my job is to critique the world, the broken systems, and the people who refuse to do better. I do this as a writer, as a speaker, and yes, as a Nigerian woman who is not afraid to speak. I feel like my purpose is to be like this cat, the one who points things out. I am the person who looks at others and says, "You need to fix this." That is me. I want us to leave this world better than we found it. The way I try to make change is by speaking up, by being the first person, by being the domino. You know, for a line of dominoes to fall, one domino has to fall first. When it does, the others have no choice but to fall too. And that first domino, we hope that it inspires the next person who sees it to also be a domino. For me, being the domino means speaking up and doing the really hard things, especially when they are needed, with the hope that others will do the same. And here's the truth. I am the person who says out loud what you might be thinking, but are too afraid to say. Many people think that people like me are fearless, but we are not fearless. We are not free from fear of the results or the sacrifices we have to make when we speak truth to power. The truth is, we do it even with fear because we feel we must. There are too few people in the world who are willing to be the domino. Too few who are ready to take that first fall. So we are not doing it without fear. Now let's talk about fear. I always knew what I wanted to be when I grew up. I said, I am going to be a doctor. Dr. Lovey was my dream. I was like Doc McStuffins before that cartoon even existed. I remember when I went to college in my first year. I had to take Chemistry 101 because I was studying to become a doctor. I got the first and last D of my whole school life. So I went to my advisor and said, okay, let's stop this pre-med plan. Being a doctor is not going to work for me because I don't even like hospitals. So let's just forget about it. That same semester, I started writing a blog. It was the year 2003. As one dream was ending, another one was starting. What began as a small hobby later became my full-time job after I lost my marketing job in 2010. But even then, it still took me 2 more years before I could say, I'm a writer. It was 9 years after I started writing before I finally called myself a writer. I was afraid. I worried about not having a retirement plan. I wondered, how will I pay for my shoe collection? That's important to me. It took me a long time to accept this thing that was really my purpose. I realized that fear has a strong power. It can stop us from doing and saying the things we are meant to do. One day I decided, I'm not going to let fear decide what I do. And then, amazing things started to happen, one after another, like falling dominoes. When I understood that, I thought, okay, in 2015, I turned 30. This will be my year of do it anyway. Anything that scares me, I will go and do it. I'm a Capricorn, so I like my feet to be on solid ground. But I decided to take my first trip alone, and it was to another country, the Dominican Republic. On my birthday, what did I do? I went ziplining through the forests of Punta Cana. And for some strange reason, I was wearing business clothes. Don't ask me why, but I had a wonderful time. Also, I don't like being deep in water. Again, I like to be on solid ground. But I went to Mexico and swam with dolphins underwater. Another big thing I did that year, my mountain, was writing my book, I'm Judging You, the Do Better Manual. I had to fully accept that I was now a writer. But the very not me thing I did, the thing that scared me the most, I went skydiving. Right before we jumped, I thought, I've done some stupid things in life. This is one of them. Then we fell down toward the earth, and I lost my breath when I saw the view. I thought, I just jumped out of a perfectly good plane, on purpose. What is wrong with me? But then I looked down at the beauty and thought, this is the best thing I could have done. This was an amazing choice. I think about that moment when I have to speak the truth. It feels just like jumping out of that plane. It's like standing at the edge thinking, you shouldn't do this. But then I do it anyway because I know I have to. Staying on the plane is comfortable for me. But every day, when I speak the truth against big institutions, powerful people, or strong forces, it feels like I am falling out of that plane again. I understand now that comfort is not as good as people think. Being quiet feels easy, and keeping things the same also feels easy. But comfort only keeps everything the way it already is. So, we need to learn to feel okay with being uncomfortable by saying difficult truths when we need to. For me, I know I must say these truths because honesty is very important to me. I care a lot about my integrity. I also believe that justice should not be a choice. We should always have justice. And I even joke that shea butter is one of my main values because I think the world would be better if people's skin was more moisturized. But apart from that, with these values in my heart, I have to tell the truth. I really have no other choice. But people like me, the professional troublemakers, should not be the only ones willing to be like falling dominoes, the first to take a risk or face a challenge. Many people fear the quick, visible results of speaking up, but they don't see that sometimes we are already among the most powerful people in the room, maybe second or third most powerful. I believe that in those moments, our job is to interrupt what is wrong. And if we are not the most powerful, joining with one or two others can make us stronger. It's like supporting a woman in a meeting who is struggling to speak, or making sure someone's idea is heard. Our job is to give them that space. Everyone's well-being should be everyone's business. If we made that a habit, then when we need help, it would be easier to find because we would have been someone else's help first. I have had times when I failed in public, like when I was invited to speak at a conference, but told to pay my own way. I found out that white men and white women speaking there had their travel paid, but black women were expected to pay to speak. I wondered what to do, knowing that speaking up could cost me money, but I also knew staying silent would help no one. So with fear, I spoke out. Other women then came forward, saying they had also faced unfair pay. This began a bigger conversation about discrimination at that conference. Another time, I read a disturbing memoir by a famous person. I knew they had more power than me and could hurt my career, but I felt I had to speak. I wrote my piece, pressed publish, and walked away. Later, I returned to see it had gone viral. People said they were glad someone had finally spoken up. This started a conversation about mental health and self-care, and I realized, okay, maybe this work I'm doing is actually making a difference. Many people have been the domino when they talk about how powerful men have hurt them. This has made millions of women join in and say, me too. I want to thank Tarana Burke for starting that movement. People and systems depend on our silence to keep us in the same place. Sometimes being the domino means simply being yourself. I have been a bold person since I was 3 years old. This is me on my 3rd birthday. I have been this same girl my whole life, And I feel like even that has been the domino. In a world where people want us to act like someone we are not, being yourself can be an act of change. And in a world that wants us to speak quietly, I choose to speak loudly. When it is time to say these hard things, I ask myself 3 questions. First, did I really mean it? Second, can I explain and defend it? Third, did I say it with love? If the answer is yes to all 3, I say it and accept whatever happens next. This is important. This little check with myself always tells me, yes, you should do this. Telling the truth, telling careful and thoughtful truths, should not be something rare. Speaking the truth to powerful people should not feel like a big sacrifice, but it often does. Still, I believe if more of us chose to do this for the good of everyone, our world would be a better place than it is now. For the greater good, I believe we must tell the truth to make bridges to common ground. Bridges built without truth will fall down. This is our job, our responsibility, and our duty. To speak truth to power, to be the domino, not only when it is hard, but especially when it is hard. Thank you for listening to my talk. Remember, your voice matters, your truth matters, and you can be the domino that starts change. If this message inspires you, please like this video, subscribe to my channel, and share it so more people can learn the power of speaking truth. Together, we can make a difference.